Joining us on the program right now, he is, of course, Mike Folta, the radio play-by-play voice of the Utah Mammoth. Mike, how's it going, man? Everything good in your world?
Hey, we're not quite sitting in the shade of the palm trees yet, boys. We got one more big one tonight against a really good Detroit team. Red Wings, 6th in the NHL, in terms of the big leaderboard, in terms of standings, total points. They're an elite team with elite players, and they don't score the most. They're not the best defensively, but they play really good complementary hockey. They've got some legendary players, Patrick Kane chiefly among them. They've got a hot goalie and John Gibson. So it's going to be a really good test for the Mammoth to try and finish off this portion of the schedule here tonight.
Got to look back on that Vancouver win and Nick Schmaltz, the hat trick. And it's not just one game. He's been phenomenal all season. What does this mean for him moving forward and with this franchise the way he's played? Because we all knew he was talented, but we didn't expect a season like this maybe.
Yeah, I mean, moving forward with the franchise, it's hard to say, right? He's a free agent coming up at the end of this season, so there will have to be some decisions made there. And General Manager Bill Armstrong has talked about, making that decision after the season. But for Schmaltz and the Mammoth, the best thing for everybody is if he continues to ball out like he is. Right now, he's one of just 9 players this year to have multiple hat tricks this season.
Wow.
So he's done it. He's done it twice at home. After we didn't have any home hat tricks last season,
right?
And Schmaltz has done it twice in the Delta Center this season. But he's only 1 goal away from tying a career high, and we've got 20-something games left. So he's playing the best hockey of his life, and he's doing it at the center position, as we've talked about a lot. It's harder to play center than it is to play wing. I was talking with DJ and PK, and I don't know if this is the exact comparison, but it's kind of like being like an X receiver versus like a slot receiver. You get the tougher matchups. You're a little bit more responsibility. I don't know, JJ. What do you think of that comparison?
No, it's pretty
like
good.
A big X or a Z.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be a quarterback when I was growing up, and I was a smart kid, but I just didn't know the plays. I didn't know X, Y, Z, all that stuff. That was all beyond me.
Well, yeah, I mean, that I played football and I played a lot of football, and I ignored all that stuff because I was on the O-line. You know what I mean? Like I was like, let's let those guys figure it out over here. I've got to figure out how to get this.
I just got to hit the guy in front of me.
Hey, what is that voice for? That's what my wife.
That's offensive line voice.
That's what my wife does. That's the voice my wife does for me when she feels like she wants to make a point against it. She's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah, we'll see you this weekend." Right? that's my wife's voice for me when she wants to really make a point. Mike, one of the things, it's so huge because this Western Conference is already a tight race. I'm looking at just the Pacific Division. I was looking at the other night because I think that the Golden Knights have lost 5 in a row, and they're still at the very top of that standing. But it's not like it's an easy one for them. It's like 2 points separating the top 4 in that division, and the Mammoth had suddenly fallen out of the wild card, and then with that 1 win, then they're back up again into that first spot. This Western Conference is very, very tight. And this division, the Central Division, has these top 3 teams that look phenomenal. All 3 of them look phenomenal. And 13 points separate the Stars and the Mammoth. And that was such a huge game the other night, and it was a close one, and it was good. And the Mammoth have won 7 out of their last 10. But, man, this is a tight race in the West.
Yeah, and the 3 teams in front of Utah in the Central Division, Colorado, Minnesota, Dallas, well, they also happen to be 3 of the top 5 teams in the whole league,
right.
Kind of what you were saying. The West is really tight, except at the top. Like, those top 3 teams have pulled away from everybody, and there's a pretty big chasm between the 3rd-place team in the Central and the 4th place, which is where Utah is. But, I mean, the rest of it, as you were saying, Vegas leads the Pacific Division. Utah 4th in the Central. Mammoth are 2 points behind Vegas. So, like, if Utah was in the Pacific Division, they'd be a lot closer to the top. That's not the case. There's been a lot made over the last couple of years of the playoff format in the NHL. They don't do it just 1 through 8. So you can have a couple really good teams face each other in the first round, which is what we're going to have. Likely Minnesota and Dallas are going to face each other in the first round, even though they deserve better first round matchups. But Utah in the mix right now, still in the top wild card spot, above Seattle, above Los Angeles, above San Jose. Good news for Utah is that according to our good friends over at tankathon.com, which is not a website you want to be going to that much if you're a sports fan, but tankathon.com tabulates like strength of schedule just based on the team's winning percentages that are still on your schedule. Utah has the fifth easiest. That's the good news. The bad news is that there are three teams that have easier schedules than Utah, or four teams. Colorado's one of them, but three teams are of concern: San Jose, Anaheim, and LA. Three teams that are all
right behind them
with Utah. Yeah, so that point is kind of moot right there. But mention the LA Kings. We got news a little earlier today that Artemi Panarin, who is one of the best players in the league, had been with the New York Rangers. He just got traded to the LA Kings earlier this afternoon. So the Kings are pushing their chips towards the middle of the season, and they just got a whole heck of a lot better with one of the best snipers, playmakers in the NHL in Panarin. So they're a different shaped threat now. Panarin in the lineup, that's something you have to keep tabs on. Adam Schefter broke that trade. How about that?
Of course he did.
Shefty dipping into the hockey sphere.
Stay in your lane, Shefty. Come on, man.
Some of these newsbreakers getting greedy.
They don't know how to turn it off.
Bleeding
at some
in other
point,
leagues.
yeah, they hear something and they got to
some scraps for somebody else.
They got to throw it out there. So yeah,
Man.
it's always pretty wild to watch that thing go down. This Utah team, though, has one of the best score differentials of any of those teams that we've talked about that are in that wild card race. It's a great offensive team, and certainly 5-on-5, they are phenomenal. Penalty kill has been an issue for this team lately. How do they tighten that thing up?
Yeah, special teams in general has been an area of concern. Mammoth are actually one of the best 5-on-5 teams in the NHL. They've been kind of top 5 in that category for most of the year, and that's why the analytics community loves Utah. On the penalty kill, we were hearing from Bear actually earlier this morning about being really aggressive on the penalty kill and putting a lot of pressure on the other team's power play. And what he means is, the forwards on the PK kind of aggressively moving up top to where the puck is near the blue line a lot of times, and kind of forcing the guy into a decision. And even though you might not steal the puck right there, that allows the rest of the PK to read off of the decision that guy has to make. So it's a good power play in Detroit that the Mammoth are facing here tonight. It's going to be a really good challenge on the penalty kill front. But special teams is a big deal, and that's an area that the Mammoths have to get better at going down the stretch here because in these close games, a lot of times it's just one save or that one power play goal that can make the difference, not just in a game, but whether you make it into the postseason or not.
The Mammoth are in a very tough stretch where they're playing some of the best teams in the league. What are you learning about this team during this stretch, Mike?
Yeah, I think some of it is what I just mentioned, right? That this team is a few details away from being, up in that upper echelon, right? They give up a couple of power play goals against Dallas and Carolina. Well, okay, you lose both of those games by one goal, right? You outplay Tampa Bay, but the Lightning have the best goalie in the world in Andrei Vasilevsky, and that's that, right? So there's these details that have kept the Mammoth from winning those games as of late, the games against Tampa, Carolina, and Dallas, three of the best teams in the league. The Mammoth are right with them 5-on-5. It's just the special teams, that one more save, that one more power play goal that separates them from, the cream of the crop in the National Hockey League. I really think that the elevation of individuals on this roster has been fun to watch too. John Marino, defenseman for Utah. Maybe the casual fan wouldn't notice him a ton out there, but he has been excellent this year, having a career season. We talked about Nick Schmaltz earlier. His production is approaching career high levels, but he's been outstanding in his own zone in the defensive end as well. That stood out. So I think the fact that the Mammoth are just a couple of details away and the elevation of individuals in big moments has stood out to me.
Really great January, and they go into February here. They could steal a win right before the Olympic break here. Where does the Olympic break stand? I mean, obviously, a handful of guys playing for their teams. Of course, the captain's going to be out there, Clayton Keller for Team USA, and Paterka's going to be there with Germany, Veggies with Czechia, and then Oli Mata. I don't know how much he's going to be playing with Finland, but he's on that team. So as this break happens, you got those guys that we'll take a look at, but this team, how does a break like this affect a team like Utah who's been hot, and then they go into this break? Would they prefer to keep playing right now, or do you think that this break is well needed and it comes at a great time?
I'm not speaking for anybody, but I think it's really needed. It's been a condensed schedule this year, as we all know, with the Olympic break. Because the Olympic break is so big, the rest of the schedule gets condensed. And I know that some guys are playing less than 100%, like a lot of guys in the NHL are. But this isn't the NBA where you've got, some gout or something that's keeping you out for a game. Like, these guys are playing through pretty significant discomfort. I'll just say that. But I think this will be a really good couple of weeks for the Mammoth to get some key guys healthy. One of the guys who's been out of the lineup has been Logan Cooley. And so we're supposed to get him back. We think we're going to get him back after the Olympic break with 25 games left to go on the schedule. And he's Utah's most dynamic player offensively, and the Mammoths have a winning record without him. I mean, we saw him go down, and we thought, okay, that could be the season right there. That could be curtained. But no, the Mammoths have had a winning record without Cooley. And so getting him back into the fold is kind of going to be like having that nice trade deadline acquisition, right? He's going to serve that same. It's going to feel that way. So really excited to get him back. Alexander Kerfoot's been hurt as well. He's a really versatile piece, can kill penalties, win faceoffs, responsible defensively. Those two guys coming back into the lineup will be good, but I'm going to be enjoying the crap out of the break on a beach somewhere. But I think everybody else is just going to be nursing bumps and bruises.
Well, the nice thing is you can lay on that beach and enjoy yourself, but also enjoy Olympic hockey. How great is this tournament going to be? I mean, I'm juiced for it, man. This is going to be awesome.
It's going to be incredible, and we've heard some rumblings about the arena not being finished the way they would hope it would be, and things like that. And there's been some intrigue around that. Talked with our good friend Sam Farnsworth over at KSL 5 the other day, and he was telling us it's all good. The arena looks great, and I remember back to Four Nations. The Four Nations tournament last year. We had U.S., we had Canada going at it. That tournament was awesome because the players made it awesome. Yeah. And this is the first time we have NHL players in the Olympics since 2014 in Sochi, and the players are going to make it awesome again. It's going to be incredible. I don't think you're going to see the fights as much, different rules in the Olympics, things like that. It's not quite officiated the same. So I don't think you should expect 3 fights right off the first face-off, like we had at the Four Nations tournament last year.
How are the Kachucks going to behave themselves?
The Kachucks are in this tournament. You have no idea. Maybe we have no clue how this thing's going to go. They might set a new precedent.
Hey, I'm all for it. I am all for it, especially in the play-in rounds. But my broadcast partner Adrian Denny just sent me a note. So Canada plays Czechia, I beg your pardon, in the first pool play game. If you take the combined record of the Czech goalies that they have, including Karel Vejmelka, they're 30 games above 500.
Wow.
Okay, so they're good. They're good. You take the combined record of the Team Canada goalies. Canada's supposed to be the best hockey country in the world. We'll see. The combined record for the Team Canada goalies, 2 games under 500.
Wow.
So it's night and day the strength in net between Czechia and Canada. Now the Czechs don't have Nathan McKinnon or Sidney Crosby or Connor McDavid, but Canada certainly is dealing with some goaltending intrigue heading into the Olympics.
So you're just going to expect us to outscore everybody? Is that what we're going to see?
Well, with those guys up front, they might be able to. And, I'm looking at the Czechs to be a really strong team. They've got some really good players, not just in net, although obviously we'll be watching Veggie. Team Sweden looks incredible to me as well. That's going to be a tough out. They were very good at the Four Nations tournament. Finland always seems to overachieve, even though they might not have as many household names. They tend to overachieve in these international tournaments. Last time the U.S. played Finland in Best on Best Olympics in 2014, Olli Maatta was on Team Finland, and they crushed the Americans 5-1 to win a bronze medal. So you can't take anybody lightly in this tournament, and we're all expecting U.S. Canada to be among the top teams, but there's 16 countries that have a say in this.
And they've all got a history, man. Like all these guys have some crazy history in the Olympics, and certainly with the best on best situation now, bringing the NHL guys in, it's just it's going to be such great hockey. It should be so much fun to watch these guys going back and forth, and so we're looking forward to it. But we're looking forward, of course, first to tonight, the Detroit Red Wings coming to town. Always love to see that sweater in town on our ice here across the street because it just makes it feel like, hey, this is the NHL. These guys don't give up at all. There's no nights off here, and getting a win right before the break would be awesome for these guys. Mike, we're looking forward to the call tonight, man.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Looking forward to it as well. It should be a great tilt.
There you go. Mike Folta, everybody. Play-by-play voice of the Utah Mammoth. All brought to you by the good folks at Hercules First Federal Credit Union, growing stronger together.